Kira Montiel of Papillion, Vern Hickok of Caro, Mildred Moody of Gehring, Blue River Arts Council in Crete, Nebraska Land Bank in North Platte, Lincoln Industries in Lincoln, Cinderlyn Meredith of Seward, Deb Zobel of Ashland, Sally Harms of Wisner, Senator Diana Shimmick of Lincoln, and Rick Weimer of West Point. Serve Nebraska thanks all nominators, nominees, and sponsors for helping us celebrate volunteerism. To learn more about the Step Forward Awards and this year's honorees, visit serve.nebraska.gov. Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman? We're the Old School crew. DP's out handling some business today. But we are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on. Yesterday was Teammates Tuesday, Teammates Takeover, essentially. So we weren't on to really dive into the NFL trades. I think it's going to be the first of, I wouldn't say many, but there's a lot more movement in them. When we talked about a little bit on the crossover and what these players have as far as power, or the ability to have more control over the career. And I really think it changed, and this is a little bit different take on it. I think it really changed Austin when teams started to embrace two things. Started to embrace former players being coaches. I think you started to see that, and I think you got to give the godfather of it, Bruce Arians. He's done a ton not only for hiring and coaching and mentoring minorities, but then also having a staff of former players. Now you see Dan Campbell doing it, a ton of it. Bill Belichick set up Gerard Mayo to be the next coach. But then also I think a change was when players started to really think like business-wise as social media and social pressures changed as far as players out in the community, and not just quarterbacks, right? Not just high-profile guys, just good players really getting the credit that they deserve. And then the players started representing themselves. So then now you're cutting out the middleman. Yes, you remember about Lamar Jackson. Everybody always, his mom's his agent, this, and this. Well, that was just negotiation 101, like on the Baltimore Ravens side. Because here's a little secret for everybody out there. Next time you hear it, these GMs saying that a player isn't equipped to, represent himself. Now, there's been some players that have been making mistakes and stuff, and that just happens even with agents. When you have agents too, me and Strick talked about it as well, is that there's not one contract that's agreed to that doesn't get signed off by the NFLPA. So if it's a really, really bad contract and the language is in there that's really, really bad for the player, it will not be able to go through. And we've seen that plenty of times. So I think that's changed. And so that's why I think you see players on the move a lot more. You saw Devontae Adams even back with Wide Receiver One, which is a Netflix show. And he talked about Antonio Pierce being the head coach after McDaniel got fired. He said, I don't even have to be here. So that lets you know he's already had conversations with them, the Raiders, and his agent. That's control. That would never happen before. Eric Moulds maybe Eric Moulds would have been. Andre probably could have, but Corey Bradford couldn't. Peerless Price really couldn't. I'm talking about the number 2 guys. Yeah. So yeah, it's all relative, but it's a lot more frequent now in the NFL and NBA.
Just according to your gut, however you read the leagues right now, has there been a shift in the number of trades where the team wants to get rid of the player versus the player want to get rid of their current team?
I think the players want to get rid of some teams. I do. I mean, Devontae Adams is a perfect example. He's looking around, and you have to protect your career. When I played, you were just stuck until they decided to cut you. And then they said, you don't have a quarterback, or the situation that you already have a rookie head coach, and they're like, all of a sudden you're not productive. And then they're, at that time that they were, the one thing that's really changed is it's the I guess I'll say it's the players that can play, and then there's the players that can't play. So you can't you got to hang on to guys that actually can play, or they're actually more tradable. But I think a lot of players are looking at situations and how organizations are ran, and willing to make a move and really to try to do things to try to dictate their future. So more power to them.
And to some degree, I think it only amplifies the degree to which we know organizations are good organizations versus bad organizations, in air quotes, based on how they do business. Because now I think an organization that would have ruled with an iron fist, this is how we want it, we will keep you as long as we want you. Bad organizations went from that to too soft, to coddling, to going too far in on the players. But you see, I'll still throw Pittsburgh, Baltimore in that conversation. I think the best front offices now, even with the shift to maybe more player power, they're not coddling their players. They're not giving them everything that they could dream of. They're not making the players in charge of the organization. They're treating them well. They're treating them fairly, but they know the best way to keep their players is not with an iron fist.
Right.
It's to make them feel valued, appreciated, help set them up for success, because then the player will want to stay.
Right. They'll want to stay, and then you'll get some more mutually beneficial contracts, and then you'll see players, be more invested into doing the best for the team and themselves and the community, so forth and so on. So I think it's a little bit of you player to player, but then also in general, you want to make sure that you treat the players with respect and not take advantage of them. So you're seeing more organizations be up to it. And here's what a lot of organizations have adapted. And I had to deal with this when you go, and it was very hard for me. I was blessed enough to play in Nebraska during a very winning time. Then I went to Buffalo, a very winning time, and everything was done the right way. Then I got traded to Houston, a great organization, but we were upstart, we were expansion franchise, and you started to, and they didn't coddle guys, but it was like the moves were like I felt like they had too much leeway. They
Well, they didn't have a standard set.
They didn't have a standard
not
set.
saying they didn't know what they were doing, but they're also an expansion franchise.
Right, but you still should have a standard set. That's the reason why some guys got hired at certain positions. And it was like they knew that they could do whatever they want and the players were at their mercy. Whereas like in this situation where we had a lot of really good defensive players, and in that day and time, if we had the power to be able to move, we could have pushed the envelope for them to get us some support offensively faster. Now here comes Andre Johnson after you done failed on I don't know how many. So you finally got it right. Well, then you decided, well, now we got this dude. We're actually going to try to get some offensive alignment. Now we're going to blow up the defense. Well, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like if that organization had drugged their feet in that second year, you would have seen a lot more guys request trades, but you couldn't request trades. I mean, you could, but it wasn't going to do anything.
You get laughed at.
You get watered down there. You get, like Strick said, manipulated and all that. Now, guys, it wouldn't be a mass exodus, but you definitely would be doing things as a betterment of you down there. So it was definitely, but I think a lot more teams operate like that now, how they were operating in Houston at that time. And it didn't work out for Houston, but when it really changed is like when Rick Smith and those guys came in, and then also Bob McNair, the owner, changed the identity of it. He said that he actually went out, talked, communicated with other owners, and figured out what the standard was, and then brought it here. Obviously, he brought Rick Smith from Denver, started making some more aggressive moves, brought in Kubiak, thing changed, and then you start to see him make the playoffs all the time. Bill O'Brien, so forth and so on.
It's interesting when we look at pro sports and then college sports as well, right? I mean, it's manifesting itself there as well with player empowerment. I think there are a lot of people who would want to say one is good and one is bad. There's pros and there's cons of both systems. Right. So when you look at these eras, there are definitely changes that have needed to be made. Like adding free agency seems like a no-brainer.
But it's not. It's free agency.
Well, not to college, but I'm saying like to the pros.
Yeah, in pros, but it hasn't been around that long.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that was a necessary change that made a lot of sense for the leagues. We don't necessarily know what all the shortcomings of the player empowerment era are. We're maybe seeing some in the NBA potentially, right? There have been some cracks in that system. Will it be the same in college football? Will it be the same in the NFL? Maybe similar, probably not exactly the same. But I don't want to say that the player empowerment era, if you want to call it that, is perfect. Well, the previous era was perfect. There are flaws in every system. The way it's going to work best if you find a balance between them, find that middle ground. Because if it's all teams, that's a problem. If it's all players, that's a problem. There's a reason CBAs are 52-48, not 55-45.
Right, and it's all individual based. You'll have players that take advantage of the system.
Yeah.
You could look at guys like, I love him as a player, like Albert Bell, right? Or like, Albert Hainsworth. You got guys that all of a sudden get big contracts and tank. Well, then, and just decide not to work hard and all this other stuff. Well, that happens. That's going to happen down here at college with the transfer portal NIL.
That's a human thing. That's not a
system thing. Yeah, and but people don't differentiate that, right? So those are just part of the problems. Now, what has to really make sure it happens is somehow they set up a system that where the players who are very young, right, are jumping into a business world with people that have been doing this 2 or 3 times at their age. So what I mean is like this. So, the people that are on the football side are well equipped and versed in doing this. And so then here's all these young players. They better have good representation in a union to do so, because then they could maybe possibly get taken advantage of and not find out till later on down the road. So, it's definitely a unique time in sports. You see a lot more trades. You see it in the NBA, big trades, small trades, undercover signings. And then it's all about what you make of it. I mean, everything's got, look, these college kids are getting paid in some cases as much or more than guys in the NBA. And it doesn't matter what the sport is. So, this is what you wanted, and more power to them, because somebody just asked me, like, what do you think you guys would have got in NIL back then? It's been great. But you know what? I'm happy for these kids, man. You take it. You are in a great time. The only advice I give to these kids is it's a very short time. Take every advantage that you can, but don't lose sight of what your best selling point is. You're here to play football. Because if you don't take that type of mindset, because the NIL is going to be there, especially at a place number. NIL is there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're operating with, like, I call it house money, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that house money is only here for the 3 or 4 years that you're here. Well, if you don't handle your business,
it's only those 3-4 years.
It's only those 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Use your house money to springboard you to something that's real. Mm-hmm. That's why where Coach Rule said, I want guys that want to go to the NFL. I want NFL. I want guys that have aspirations to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
If you just got aspirations just to come here and think you can do it, then what are you going to do? You know, right. Well, yeah, you could bounce around the UFL and all that. And look, the NFL is not for everybody because there's only the 1% of the 1% make it, and that's not going to change. But put yourself in the best chance to get there. And once you get there, if you put yourself in the best chance to get there, then you're giving yourself a better chance to survive and continue to grow there. Just because you were paid, probably overpaid handsomely in college, doesn't mean it's applicable to the NFL.
League's not going to overpay you very often.
The league ain't going to pay you at all. If you can't play, you out of there. If you mess up enough, you gone. There's no
mess
friends.
up enough might be once sometimes.
That's it. One time. So anyways, good first segment. We're going to come back, talk some more NFL news. Obviously, we got the Jets. What do we think about the Jets, Bills, Steelers? What are they going to do at quarterback? Could Russell Wilson be on their move? If I'm Bryce Young, I'm out of there. Multitude of other trades that are going to be on the sneak too. But anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get a free brick of ground beef and 25% off on tea. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot. just north of 48th and Lake, and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through October 20th, enjoy USDA Choice Whole Boneless Ribeye Loin for $12.99 per pound and USDA Choice Eye of Round Roast for $6.99 per pound. Plus, October is pork month, so enjoy St. Louis-style ribs for $1.99 per pound, Duroc pork butt for $2.49 per pound, and 4 for $5 all-pork patties. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin, old school crew. College football talk, second hour here, or NFL talk. Some trades going on. Obviously, the one thing about the Jets, even though Devontae comes, it's going to be interesting to see the relationship that Aaron Rodgers has with the other receivers. Just for the simple fact of him, obviously Devontae and him have a long relationship and they've built an understanding of each other. But then also you have an up and coming, which they thought was the number one receiver in Garrett Wilson. You got Alan Lazard that knows how to play, who knows how to play with Aaron Rodgers. And then you got Mike Williams, who was what was thought of as a big free agency get. And, maybe Aaron Rodgers knew that Devontae was in the works, and probably so. But the fact that he, threw him underneath the bus was a little Bush League.
Is that just who Aaron Rodgers is, or was it Bush League?
It's both.
Okay.
But that's just who Aaron Rodgers is. Like, yeah, you thought and all that. But this is the thing about Aaron Rodgers, what people don't understand. Over the last 5, 6, 7 years, he has choked under pressure. If you go back all the way to when San Francisco went in there and beat him, then the Giants, I think, and then the multiple times that they lost at home, what he does under pressure, and I think it's maybe the last game that him and Devontae played together, he throws it deep when the guy running underneath is open.
Well, same thing just last night.
Yeah, same thing. And yes, Mike Williams could have came and got it, but you're throwing a no-look pass under pressure to a red line. Now,
what is the red line? Explain for those who might not know.
So essentially, it's a place, and it's always marked on practice fields. It's a cover 2 beater. So have you ever seen see him get this is what hurt us and against cover 2 is you see a lot of times that you'll see, depending on the corner, and I'm just talking about particular cover 2, is they'll jam the guy to the outside, but if he can keep and get thin on the sidelines, and he works it right in. It's in between the safety and the corner, and it generally will be between the sideline and
the hash.
And the hash.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or the number and the hash, whatever. What does it go? Hash number.
Yeah, hash number.
Yeah, it's in between the hash and the number.
Okay.
Generally. So as you saw, Mike Williams, he slipped. It happens, and so you wouldn't think that Aaron Rodgers would throw him underneath the bus like that, but I'm not surprised.
If he would do it less often, would it come across as motivational? Like, hey,
that's something that you take care of in house.
In house, gotcha.
That's a meetings. That's in meetings. That's everything you need to do to gain the trust. And look, this is a guy that they spend a lot of money on that's going to be there for a while. And if I'm Mike Williams, now Mike Williams got to find a way to be healthy, and that's on the GM and them for
getting a dude who's always hurt.
Yeah, and it always hurt. That's the big knock on him. He's very productive, but when he gets hurt, he gets injured. So maybe Aaron Rodgers knew it because Devontae was on his way, but that's probably not the best. It's more of a snapshot into who he's become. And he's a great player, Hall of Fame player. I have no problem saying it, and I'm very understanding the difference between Jay Foreman and Aaron Rodgers. But I've played with some pretty dang.
One has an Ivy League degree, one doesn't.
Cal's pretty up there, and he's actually very intelligent. And I think he's a better guy than he comes off as. I think that I think he spends too much time on controlling the narrative and trying to manipulate the media, and you're never going to win.
Is that maybe what's keeping him out of inner circle Hall of Famer? Because physical talent, what he's been able to do throwing the football, numbers, some of the moments he's had. I mean, the Hail Mary stuff is like a check in his his box.
I think he'll get in. I just think. First of all, I think he's an odd duck, anyways. But I think I think besides that, I think he's a very likable guy. I think he's actually, from what people I've talked to, he's actually a decent teammate. I don't know if there's underlying things that Mike Williams maybe have been working hard or doing what they need to, and that's something that when you just kind of do it, man, you're just like, hey, I don't care anyways because the dude hadn't put it in. But I just think that was not the best way to do it. Doesn't matter if Devontae's coming or not. The coach just got fired mainly because of your side of the ball. Yeah. And they just seem like they don't have any continuity, especially in the passing game. You had Breece Hall go for 120 or something like that. The offensive line, again, that's on the people, the powers that be. He signed Tyron Smith, who's aging and barely, he's a matter of time before he gets hurt. They haven't really protected Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't move as well as he used to, and you're not supposed to. And he hasn't played well. So the pressure's mounting, but I also think he spends a lot of time worries about a lot of other things he doesn't need to because he's a very, very good player. Mm-hmm. If he just focuses on that, and he should have been around more in the offseason. This is the place that you wanted to go. I don't care if you took 3 days in darkness or not. This is where you decided when you wanted to go. It took you forever. That's your own damn fault.
Right.
Okay. Now you're here.
So be here.
Be here. And 100%. Mm-hmm. That's what I think is holding them back. And then you got the total opposite situation up there in Pittsburgh, who they're playing, right? Where you got Justin Fields, who came in there. It was weird because remember he requested a trade to go there, and it was after Russell turned down some other spots, and it was assumed that he was essentially given or promised or was told they were highly in favor of him starting. He's been hurt, and I've had a calf injury like that. It's very tricky. They're dangerous because we've seen
calves and hammies, man.
Calves are the worst.
Really?
Because I don't think there's much. Here's what I think. I think hamstrings, I think they have a pretty good idea on how to get them back, whether it's a low grade strain or high grade strain. I do. Okay. In different parts of the hamstring because you kind of can project. I think they have that down. As long as the rehab is done right and things go well. I think the calves are just tricky, man. I think they're tricky.
So much with the Achilles and below.
Well, we've seen it, right? You push it, and then you're late in your career, and then you're thinking, how many guys have we seen it? And so, now you got Justin Fields who's playing well. Pittsburgh's not running the ball like you'd like to think to really, really accentuate Justin Fields. They need a guy like Amari Cooper and Devontae. They don't have it. They got Pickens, and with Pickens is immensely talented. Here's the thing about Pickens. This is the funny thing about it. I heard this about some other players that, I was talking to my friends about. You got first-round talent, free agent mindset.
And the wrong kind of free agent mindset.
Wrong. Yeah,
chasing
wrong.
the bag in free agency mindset, not got to grind my way back.
Right, and just a knucklehead.
Yeah,
he's the type of free agent, if he wasn't as immensely talented, that you wouldn't touch because the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And Pittsburgh has made a living on mid to late round picks, outperforming their draft status, developing, being Pittsburgh Steelers type of receivers, all the way back to Hines Ward, Antoine Randall, Antonio Brown, and a host of others, and kind of struck out when they went Claypool and Pickens so far.
When did they get Santonio Holmes?
Was he first round?
Oh, he was first. So I guess he's the exception.
He's the exception, right? And then he went to Jet. I wouldn't say he got ran out of town, but then remember he went to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the exception. But everybody else from Claypool to Pickens and some other guys, I guess Deontay Johnson, yeah, right. But he's gone. He's gone now. So I would have probably rather had Deontay Johnson than Pickens. I think part of the reason why Deontay Johnson left was because of Pickens. Because of Pickens was kind of acting right, and he kind of came on last year. Well, now you've seen him now. It's Pickens like in Indy when he wasn't playing hard and all, like.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody did. But it's just those are habits that you can't break. That it's just in you.
So then, if you're Pittsburgh and Carolina's where Carolina's at right now, is it worth trying to trade to get Deontay Johnson back?
No, there's plenty of guys out there that you can go. I would look for some other guys. I'd look at DeAndre Hopkins maybe, because he's a really, really good 50-50 ball. Mm-hmm. So with Justin Fields and on the run and him being able to kind of, I'll call it second wave route run which he's running his original route. He's on the move. He's excellent like that. That's the first guy I would probably look at for Justin Fields. I think he's a tough guy as far as DeAndre Hopkins, tough, physical, and fits Pittsburgh. I think it'd be a great situation for him. And I still think he has a year or two, like a real good high quality production, to be that kind of outlet for Justin Fields and or Russell Wilson, if whoever they choose to play. Now, of course, Deontay Johnson will be back. It'll be an easier transition because he'd be coming back. But I'm talking about a guy that can really be impactful, especially down in the end zone, the red zone. I think he would be really good. You could get like a Christian Kirk from Jacksonville, who signed that huge contract from going from Arizona to Jacksonville. Hasn't really panned out. They've paid their outside receivers and they got a lot of money invested in Ingram. So now you can get like a 1-year rental, get 2 of those guys. Then next thing you know, you're really, really being explosive. And then you got to find a way to get back to playing Pittsburgh type of football to being explosive. So whether it's Najee Harris or what's number 30's name? They had the fire and ice. You got to get those guys going.
Warren.
Yeah, you got to get those guys going. Last year they were playing at a pretty good clip. This year they kind of been stymied. And I think they got a good tight end group. I like Freiermuth. I like the big Washington. They got to just find a way to get this offense consistent because that defense is for real.
Yeah, and it has been for a while.
They packed that defense. And so if you could get some sort of efficient, consistent offense, and it can be done, man. Because oddly enough, I was watching highlights of when Cam Newton was at Carolina. They had Ted Ginn, Cotry, obviously Greg Olson's a Hall of Famer, Dixon the backup tight end, and then obviously they had 2 really good running backs or 3 running backs along with Cam. But you don't need like true number 1 receivers. You need guys that are number 1 receivers in your system or in your offense.
Kansas City.
You play the position to the maximum there. That's how you don't have to totally invest in these number 1. Of course, you like the number 1 guys, but you can get a package of guys to be number 1 if they all play their role correctly. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm trying to take on that model, but I got to build it around our run game.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like Cam Newton. You got Justin Fields who can throw. He's got a strong arm, big, fast, a matchup problem out there on the edges. And if you can get that conventional run game going, along with the screen game, along with the middle of the field with both tight ends, and then if you make a trade and you got that defense, and you see Cleveland's got some chinks in the armor, Cincinnati is struggling. Now it's just you and the Ravens, and you always like your matchup like there because that's a rivalry.
Well, it's a rivalry, and you're Probably still your greatest strength, TJ Watt, against that offensive line.
Against that offensive line.
I know you're never going to run Henry at you, but you trust that defense.
But I like the defense. But I can get you motivated to stop the run.
Oh, yeah.
Because then that's just man on man. And I like Pittsburgh's defensive line. I think that's a challenge that they would be able to rise to. And they got Patrick Queen. So, I think it would be, if they could, Pittsburgh, I would look for Pittsburgh to do something like that. And there's plenty of guys out there. There's, linemen out there. I think the big tackle that got drafted from Florida that's at Jacksonville. He's probably a guy that's a prime. He's a right tackle. He could be a guy that goes to somebody. He probably had to go like somewhere like the Raiders. If I'm, speaking of the Raiders, if I'm the Raiders, right now, if I'm Max Crosby, I'm going and I'm gone.
Yeah.
But, dude, we're 2-3 years away from being even substantial.
Mm-hmm.
You got your only receiver gone. You let the number one running back go. So that's your whole offensive line. And then you don't have, this is the best you got. So now you can't score points. So now if you can't score points, it doesn't matter really who you have on defense. You got one guy right there that's huge and tradable. You've done this before now.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen you do this before. You got rid of Amari Cooper and you got rid of Khalil Mack. You've done it before. You might as well do it again. Accumulate draft picks. You got to get actually some football guys. And big shout out to Tom Brady and Richard Seymour becoming minority owners. Now, I know how hard it is to go through that process. I don't know personally, but I've talked to some other people, because when we were in Houston, Bruce Matthews, I think, was one, and there was another player, Ray Childress, that was a minority owner, and I remember seeing him around. They would talk about, man, it took 2-3 years. Felt like you couldn't get out of the house. So big shout out to them. So they're bringing us a championship type of mindset there. So when you get new ownership, which also is just not giving them checks, but giving you advice, the best thing is to start completely over. Now, you could build around Max Crosby, sure, but that's your best asset.
That's just the danger, because I think, quick Royals example here, probably should have traded Salvador Perez a while ago. Didn't. Held on to him because fans liked him, because he was still good. If you know you're going to be good in 2 years, sure, keep him around, because that's the guy that will know the culture, that will set the tone for that locker room. If you're not sure, or if you even keep him just into next year and you're not on the right track, he's got to be gone.
Right. And
for his sake, but mostly for yours.
Yeah, and he's the most tradable right now, because, let's be honest, Antonio Pierce is on thin ice, right? Even though he just signed a new contract. If he's not on the hot seat right now, he'd be on the hot seat all next year. You don't have a quarterback, dude. You got new ownership coming in. You don't got a quarterback, and they're going to probably want a new face of the organization.
Yeah.
That's it's you don't, and whoever decided on Gardner, nothing against Gardner Minshew or trying to give O'Connell, but you knew you needed a receiver. They were better off trying to make a late trade for Michael Penix, trading somebody for Michael Penix, or future consideration for Michael Penix. Can't guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet that Devontae Adams is still on your roster, because he sees some hope.
Mm-hmm. Might not be playing through the hamstring issue, but he's at least on the roster.
Right. He's like, this guy, because Michael Penix is got, you can kind of ride with him. But then also you should have been trying to sign a veteran. And there's multiple veterans that they could have signed. Nothing against Gardner Minshew. But
Joe Flacco was out there.
Joe Flacco was out there, but it all started with not bringing back Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So the domino effect of things.
Well, and you let him go to a good organization that was ready for him.
For
right?
pretty much less money, because there's no state taxes in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, decisions were made, and it hasn't been working out for some teams, and we'll see how it goes. It's Indiana week. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll talk about some other college football news and what I look forward to Indiana doing or trying to do against the Huskers, and how we really match up. I watched 3 games of these dudes, probably total of 7 times. So one game 3 and another 2. I got a pretty good beat on them. Sets up well for the Huskers. But Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. Quick break, and we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Mail. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmail.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school. Quick segment here. Austin, I'm going to give you something to think about here. With the Huskers going on the road against Indiana and seeing how Penn State and teams have handled business on the road. And you saw Wisconsin doing something that they ain't never done before. Then you saw Iowa. But you've watched some games of Indiana. Do you think, comparing Nebraska, do you think Rutgers? I always wanted to ask you this, and I didn't get to ask you yesterday. I think I've taken this as like, okay, well, maybe Nebraska is a lot more physical than people think they are. Greg Schiano alluded to it right after the game. You think Rutgers had when they used to? I don't know. I'm not supposed to talk about the 90s, but people used to say at some point in time when they used to play Nebraska, you played them twice.
Mm-hmm.
With Rutgers, 2 road games, right? 2 travel far.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's probably a little bit closer, but still not an easy jaunt. And 2 physical teams, and they just got ran out of the gym.
It's kind of funny to look at because Nebraska went from Purdue to Rutgers. So did Wisconsin. So Nebraska played Purdue, Wisconsin played someone. Then when Nebraska was playing Rutgers, Wisconsin was playing Purdue.
Yeah.
Then Nebraska would play Rutgers, Wisconsin played Purdue, obviously. And then
so it's like a little.
So maybe there's something about Nebraska setting up Wisconsin. Maybe they're so different stylistically, they don't know what they're in for. But we've seen that with all Nebraska opponents as well. If Nebraska beats you, you turn around, you don't look good the next week. Maybe there's something to it. I would be a little skeptical on that because I don't think we've seen Nebraska throw both the first and the last punch in a physical game, right? I'm not saying they don't have it in them, but against Illinois, Nebraska didn't throw the first physical punch, and they kind of wilted late, especially defensively, just looking hesitant. And like you said, Illinois hit on their big plays, but Nebraska didn't always necessarily punch back. And some of it's on the scoreboard, and some of it's, judging results of a process and an eye test. But Nebraska doesn't necessarily pass the physicality eye test to me right now. These last 6 games would be a great time to prove that they can.
Yeah, and I'm back and forth with it. I think they're a little bit more physical than what people give them credit for.
Okay.
I do. I mean, that's just honest God truth. I felt like I don't think Nebraska wasn't physical against Illinois. I think we started slow, especially defensively, and then we just didn't play good. There's a huge difference.
Nebraska didn't fold by any means.
No, they didn't fold. And so that, those are things. It's like as bad as, I don't need to talk about it anymore, but they just didn't play to the standard that they know that they can play to. And it happens all the time. Not all the time, but it happens to teams. They just didn't play well versus like when Callahan was there, you saw guys quit. The team quit. They weren't very physical at time. They were just
2017 happened as well.
Right. Yeah. So there's a distinct difference. We just didn't play well. And that, you know what? Give more credit to Illinois. They had a great plan and they executed and kind of like beat you more mentally, kind of kept you. They always had you like playing defense, So it's always interesting. But I think it's I don't think we're at the, like you said, I agree with you. I don't think we're at the point that like, okay, you're this is a 2-week game when you come here, but I think they're I think Nebraska's a little bit more physical than what people give them credit for. But I think that's also a byproduct of those guys really going out there and playing hard and competing.
Yeah.
And that weighs on you because they come with it every single time.
When I think about being physical, I mean, it starts with identity, right?
Yeah.
And when things aren't going well for a team, you lean into your identity, right? Who are we? Who do we want to be? Let's go back to basics. I don't see Nebraska when it's struggling go back to being physical, to hitting someone, to making a big play, laying the wood, lowering the boom, whatever it is you want to describe it as. And again, caught up in the moment, and maybe Nebraska's trying to be physical, but they run the ball for 2 yards per carry. They go 3 and out, and that's that. And we say, Nebraska's not physical enough. Maybe they're trying. Maybe they're just not good enough at it. Maybe they're not consistent enough at it. But when Nebraska has struggled, it's not like, they go back to the simple basics. Someone makes a big hit. Someone, delivers a big block, and Nebraska's fixed and back on schedule.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think it sometimes people think like, okay, you want to be physical, so you just be lining up and running over people. You're just not going to do it. I think Rutgers got ran through against Washington, so the next game they were going to that was not going to happen. So they really, really a lot of concentration to it. Wisconsin was a little bit, they just did whatever the heck they wanted. And I think Wisconsin played the best game that they actually had played in like 2 years. So it's very, it's just a very interesting, perspective. And this, I was just thinking about this last night when I was texting you. It was like, I felt like Rutgers would have went up to Wisconsin and played even better because of the way that they play. They got, first of all, Rutgers got beat. First of all, quarterback play was atrocious.
Yep.
They didn't give my man Kyle the ball again. And then special teams the special teams took a step back up at Wisconsin. They played excellent against us, crappy. But you know what? We've got some things against them as well. And then defense played horrible. They had that's a Jim Mora when he was the head coach of the Saints. When he says we didn't do tiddly poo, we got our butt kicked. That's a game that is a coach. That's my interview. That's the Jay Foreman after a game, all sweaty, coming out there just hot. We didn't do it. That's what Rutgers kind of felt like, and that obviously that wasn't a good showing by them. So, anyways, you know what? We're gonna take a quick segment. Come back. I'm gonna really dive into give you guys some. I'll talk about I'm not gonna talk about the 90s. I'm gonna talk about some of the championship teams and what really happens during the season. Because this could be even something if I was talking to the present day players or a team right now, that to get them to understand everybody's human. We're all on this together. Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through October 20th, enjoy USDA Choice Whole Boneless Ribeye Loin for $12.99 per pound and USDA Choice Eye of Round Roast for $6.99 per pound. Plus, October is pork month, so enjoy St. Louis-style ribs for $1.99 per pound, Duroc pork butt for $2.49 per pound, and 4 for $5 all-pork patties. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: frost likely this morning, then sunny, breezy, and much warmer this afternoon. We'll see a high around 64. Tonight, clear skies, and it will be breezy. See a low around 45. And tomorrow, sunshine returns. It'll be windy and warm with a high around 74. Meteorologist Kyle Click for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, take over $11,000 off a 2024 Ford F-150. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004296, MSRP of $66,645. Must finance with Ford Motor Company and have a qualifying trade and approved credit. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/13/24. See delivery details.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith. Innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couple Chevrolet GMC. We want to thank all of our customers for a great September. And now it's time for our annual Halloween sales event happening right now at Koppel. Get 0% financing at Koppel. You heard right, 0% financing on select new models. Also, huge discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Koppel. So please stop on by or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did 0% with roof credit.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School, coming at you live, 1040 O Street, the Mecca of Sports Radio here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and the state of Nebraska, Lincoln, the capital city. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat, and also 168th and Maple up there in the Metro, a.k.a. the O, Omaha, whatever you like to call it. You know, a little bit of break off of the segue that we had, or the segment that we had last is about, you know, playing, you know, what you fight on expectations. And the reason why I bring it up is because, you know, when I coach, I always try to look at different coaches when I coach club basketball or coach sports or train kids or mentor kids. So you always feel like I'm trying to learn, right? And you know, I watch a lot of European soccer and watch all the Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime, season documentaries of the teams, how they team build, how they motivate, how they coach, how they talk to different players, how different club teams over there, as far as soccer goes, have different expectations, and how they, allow players to thrive or maybe some wilter under those pressures. And always, I'm a big fan of Nick Saban, and what championship mindset is different. I have friends that work in different schools, in different roles. So I always try to be in contact with them just to kind of just pick their brain a little bit. Just number one, just from learning, but then also checking how they're doing, but just to have a better view when I talk about things and not about myself or what we did, talking about what they're doing because it's working. And see if there's anything that's comparable, right? There's a lot of comparables, right? And you can look at the champions. I always say like this: you look at the teams that win the national championship, and when you show me a team that isn't physical, don't play with good fundamentals, don't play for something bigger than themselves, that are champions that win national championships, let me know.
They got lucky.
But I haven't seen any recent, and so that's not dead, and so that's really what kind of made the '90s a great run, right? There's been great runs before at Nebraska. There was a few years of great runs, even if you want to say, the 9 wins of Bo Pelini. That's obviously right now is a great run, different time than college football. And I will tell you, college football is different in the sense of NIL, transfer portal, all the other. There's a lot more you can make money for social media. There's a lot more distractions. I'm not stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my head in the sand and thinking like it's not different. But football's not different.
Right.
It's not. You really don't play more. You don't play more plays than we play. We were just blessed enough that we beat people bad enough. We didn't have to play. You didn't play more plays than we did. And I'll let you on a little secret. Coach Osborne was snapping that ball with like 18 seconds left. We were getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we're wearing teams out. So when you talk about teams that play tempo, and all, tempo was nothing to what we were, and that's okay. That's it. Now let's get back to like championship seasons, right? 95. First of all, 95 team is easily in the top 3 teams of all time. It's definitely not 3. Might be 2, right? Or if you say top 4, they're just one of them. There wasn't a lot of issues, obviously, right? There just wasn't, right? I mean, let's be honest. So that's not a good example. But I will tell you, let's go back to 96 or 97, 96, 97. We were in some battles, man. We didn't play well at times, especially defensively. We didn't. We didn't play well. We were transitioning. We had a lot of young guys. We had Ralph and Mike Brown back there, kind of like a merry-go-round at one corner spot. We were taking guys, moving all the way around. We just didn't play. Sometimes we didn't play well. We choked against Texas, right? So this is what I'm saying is, people think that some guys from the '90s, like we didn't ever play, we didn't play well. So we had a game like Illinois. Here's the difference: we were able to get it together at enough. We were able. Here's the difference. Okay, all right. Obviously, if you take this year's team, and I'm not comparing, so everybody just pump the brakes. I'm not comparing, but if you just compare the games, this year's game against Illinois, 97 game at Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Both teams, both games. I can talk about my personal experience. I felt like defensively we didn't play well, right? Now there was other factors in it. At the end of the day, we didn't play well. I feel like this defense against Illinois didn't play up to their standards, and they will tell you didn't play well. So there's no lies being told. Here's the difference: once we got into overtime, we had veteran presence, and we started to play better towards the end, but we didn't the whole game. That's not a good game, right? In overtime, we were able to find that extra gear. We were able to finish. That's the difference. Everybody's like, okay, you beat Missouri. It was a tough game. You damn right that was a tough game. You looking out there, and we got to go 60-some yards, and they know we passing. We're not a passing team, and we get down there, and we make a miraculous play, and Matt Davidson, Johnny on the spot, you talk about always chase the ball. Boom, there you go. Now, listen, it worked out real well for him. He's doing well. But that play, right, you just never know when it's going to be your play, right? We get into overtime. We looked at it. Coach McBride was talking to us. We looked at it. It's like, don't worry about it. This is over. And it was a straight annihilation. It was Mike Rucker, Grant Wistrom, both them guys from Missouri, destroying it. And then, I think me and Jason got in on a play. They tried something. It was just over. Missouri had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the difference between, two games. Now, granted, I'm not comparing the teams. I'm just comparing the situation. So I always feel like being on the radar, you have to be realistic. Look, we were great, right? And that has nothing to do with it. But part of being, we were able to get us over at some edges when we were backs up against the wall. Now, granted, we were farther along as a program, but look, at the end of the day, we're farther along as a program, and we had to go and dig it out.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just getting started, so it can be done in your own way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to change. You're not going to. It's got to be done the right way, and it takes what it takes, man. I'm telling you, people always ask, like, what does it take? It takes what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
If it takes you not being able to hang out with your family and friends for a football season, and you not being able to go and do stuff, it takes what it takes. It takes what it takes what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You had to make sacrifices. I got to make sacrifices. It takes what it takes, dude. If you want to, so that's the magic potion. It's like unlimited. There is no limits. Once you start to get that unlimited in there, then you could think about, okay, this game against Indiana, let's dive into that. It's going to be a challenge. They're a good team. They're well coached. I said this when I was talking about it. I was up one night. I used to text Austin all the time, but since he got low, and I kind of leave him alone. But
he's in bed at 8:15, so I'm good after that.
Yeah, so I was up one night, and you know how they do the spring game replays. I was like, let me see what this Indiana stuff is. Let me see. And I was impressed. Like, I was like, man, they had 2 or 3 quarterbacks. The spring game was kind of simulated, but it was kind of like Matt Rule. It was real, like, detailed. It was quick and efficient. They knew what they were doing. They had their ducks in a row. And Indiana's a little bit different because I talk to Rhett Lewis all the time. And big shout out to Rhett, who did an interview. It's going to be played Friday. Be on the lookout for that, man, because Rhett's a former Indiana Hoosier, great player at his time. I know him from doing some stuff on other networks and stuff. Appreciative for him giving us 20, 25 minutes. It's a great interview because it gives you some in-depth analysis of Cignetti, his coordinators, his players, and how he's able to transition it. But before that, me and Rhett obviously doing some stuff together. We were going through the same transition, right? Tom Allen struggling, start out hot, struggling a little bit, COVID and all that. We were there because we were talking in between segments. And it's funny. It's like I said it on the recording. I said, Rhett, remember you ever see the Hot Wings challenge? The two guys look at you and he says, "Look at us, look at us."
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Well, that's what I said to Rhett. Who would have thought last year at any point in time, Nebraska at Indiana, big noon kickoff? Nobody would have. So when you think about this Indiana team, they got a good quarterback. He's legit. He's been successful. He can play pitch and catch. He knows what he's doing. He's very cool, calm, and collective. He knows when he makes good plays and when he, the times he hasn't played well, he's been able to get it back on tracks. Their defense does a lot of stunting, and so that's what you get when you a lot of the FCS schools. They got to manufacture pressure. They got a couple good pass rushers. And they do a really good job of, here's what they do, right? For people out there. So I always try to explain things. Football is a very complex sport, but I will always try to explain it to you as if we're at a bar and I got a pen and just a napkin, and you can take that napkin and bring it out while you're watching this game and see if it holds true. Mm-hmm. Here's what Indiana does on offense, defense, and special teams. So most people try to scheme up things for coverages. They scheme up things for weaknesses of whether it's a player and then obviously a coverage. So what they do is they do a lot of stunts on a particular side of the offensive line if they feel like they have a advantage of, whether it's experience or just individual matchup. And it's been able to create havoc. The reason why they have a high sack total is because they've been playing ahead. When you're up 70 something to nothing and all that,
teams are passing.
Yeah, your teams are passing. But the one thing that he's done is he's pushed them to understand what the word finish is. So here's what Indiana does. They generally start pretty quick. They've been lucky enough. I was talking to somebody about it where, they took the ball down, scored against UCLA. UCLA fumbles the first play of the game on a simple handoff. Thank you. Now you're down 14-0. So all the momentum is on the road team. And a couple other times, Maryland had them, then decided to just go to whatever playbook that was that they ran. It was like the fan option playbook, and it was not good.
XFL fans call plays kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like NIL deal, or something. And then Northwestern did the same thing, kind of beat them up at front, ran the ball decent, started passing, gonna go back and forth. And then they tried to get into a quick strike attack against. That's not Northwestern's game. So it's kind of worked out for them. But what they do is they try to attack, different players, different areas. And, as long as you're able to hold your head above water, they will give you a chance. And so with a quarterback, he's a good quarterback, but he will throw you some, here, Austin.
Take it. I would like you to have this one.
So what they do is they start fast. Now, when they're beating the teams by 70 points, you can't really judge them off of that, right? It's good that they had everybody in there and they all kind of were successful. They've generally started pretty quick. Now, some has been by circumstance, but you got to give them credit. So I'll let you know their first 15 plays has worked out pretty good. But then they'll give you a chance to go back in the game and sometimes give up the lead. What they do right now, and this is what you have to understand. What they do, when the game's close, they feel like they can finish you late.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've done. It's close. They feel like the continuity between the offense or the head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator, they know each other. They know exactly what they want. Signetti says with their defensive coordinator, he kind of just leaves them alone, let them do what he does. And so he's able to CEO and then kind of oversee the offense. And that's kind of where his bread and butter is. And so he's able to have two sets of eyes on an offensive staff, obviously with the head man and then obviously special teams. But they try to finish you late. And they not only try to finish you late, they try to extend the lead late. So that's there's going to be 3 or 4 segments in this game. It's going to be the start, the middle or late first quarter, middle of the second quarter. I want to win that last 6 minutes, and I want to win those right there. I want to win them all, but let's be honest. Okay, we got to win those. We want to finish strong going into halftime. And then you come out in the second half. You still play aggressive, play what you see, play your coverages, and they're going to make adjustments. And then it's going to be that tricky part to where they're either going to try to do a trick play on some form or fashion in offense or special teams. You withstand that, and then you bury them. All right. So as much as they sold this crowd out, it's actually an easier crowd to dictate to. These guys, they don't know what it's like to have this type of stuff. They're just there because it's all right. These guys are doing, but we better go before they start losing. Right. That's exactly what they're thinking. Right. Well, the best way to do it, okay, you want to look, everybody's going to be, like I say, people, when both teams run out of the locker room, there's no way they can be more motivated at that time. That's motivation. Mm-hmm. Nebraska's going to come out, I guess, first. You'll hear the boos. They'll have the big screen or whatever going up, and here comes Indiana, Signetti, and Google Me and all this, and they'll come out there and they'll be right. They'll shoot off fireworks and all. They're going to be highly motivated. Well, then we got to get in between those white lines. We got to see what your discipline is. We got to see how much you really want to play football, like real football. They haven't been challenged enough to play real football. It's credit to them, and we're not taking anything away from them. But let's see what you look like when you're looking against somebody that's we're going to play 4 quarters.
And that, to me, is the onus that's on Nebraska, is to play 4 quarters.
Right.
Nebraska's gotten away with playing a half or playing 45 minutes of football. And sometimes it's, a quarter, but sometimes it's just 15 minutes in pockets, right? 3 minutes here, 4 minutes there, 2 minutes here, 6 minutes there, whatever that math works out to be. If Nebraska wants to really, truly put that pressure on Indiana, make them finish you. Yeah. Right? That's the key difference, I think you said there, between Nebraska and Indiana, is Indiana doesn't just look to maintain the lead, they look to add on to it.
Yeah.
What has Matt Rule said? That's what he wants Nebraska to be. It's why Nebraska's lost games it's led in the past, because it's just hoping to hold the status quo and run out the clock. Matt Rule said earlier this year too, we want to get a big lead. We want to be boring.
Yeah.
That won't work against this Indiana team. Maybe your defense is good enough because it's not something Indiana's seen before. Maybe you have better players than Indiana's, faced from an opposing defense before. Okay, well, guess what? Guess how confident they are coming off a 6-0 start, right?
Yeah.
They're going to feel good about their ability to put points up on the board. So that's a challenge for the defense. Hey, put these guys in their place. They're not as good as they think they are. You're the better unit. Go prove it. But if you're the offense, here's a chance for you to bust out. I don't want to call it a slump necessarily, but go from being fine, adequate, average to we can keep pace with an offense that's scoring 35 plus a game. This is your moment to, if Indiana gets one, go get one back right away.
Yeah, or just systematically get it back.
Sure. Next possession.
Right, next possession. This is a time I want to bleed these guys. I mean, this is a game that where, whether I guess for whatever reason, guys worry about what time they play. I've never heard of it. I just never understood. It's like, here, you want to hear a funny story before we go to break? When I first moved to Minneapolis, this is funny. This is when I kind of first seen the little gangsterism out of my dad. And so I was a new kid. I just got there, and everybody kind of heard, Chuck Foreman's son's coming, and I was skinny kid, big old glasses and stuff, and I had my dad didn't give me a backpack book bag, so I got I'm late. First of all, I didn't even start school on the first day, because I was moving, so come in there and I got books like trying to go to my locker, it's first of all, Dad dropped me off late. He's just bootlegging it,
So you went for success.
Yeah, get out. Yeah, figure it out on your own. And there was this dude, man. He was a hockey player, man. And he was like, I was in 6th grade or whatever, 7th grade, and he thought it was cool. He punked me. I had this stuff, shoved me up into the school announcements everywhere. Everybody's laughing. This, and this. Happened for a couple days, and my dad asked me about it. I think he heard about it because whatever. So he asked me about it, and I told him. He said, listen, I don't care what time of day it is tomorrow. When you see that dude, you better fight him, right? And I'm like, he's like, I'm dead. He's like, do not come home until it's done. And the point is, it shouldn't matter when you guys show up ready for a fist fight or be making them get ready for a fist fight. Come whenever time the game is. 11. We know it's at 11. I don't care if you're playing at 2:30, 3:30, Central Standard Time. I do not care what time it is. Is it noon, right?
Noon Eastern, 11 Central.
It's got to be on.
That matters to fans.
Right.
That's it.
And yes, there are better times and stuff like that. But you got to be motivated to go. This is a great opportunity. I wouldn't be intimidated by the situation or anything like that. So, you know what we'll do?
Before we go to break, what happened to the guy? You beat the hockey player?
Oh, yeah.
You made it home that night? I figured.
Yeah.
Just want to hear you say it.
Yeah, I was scared, though.
Till you were in there. And it's like, it's on.
Well, then you seen him. I was like, well, hey. I wasn't going to take no. He's like, I don't even care if you lose. So it's more, he's just more or less teaching you a point about, you gotta be right. I was kind of, hey, look, man, I'm a grown man. I was soft as hell. So I think the best thing that you could do when you're on the radio is not always try to tell you like everything that was great. Yeah, I was soft as hell. I was scared as hell. But I was so scared. I was like, my dad was like, you gonna do it whether you like it or not. He even had my grandma backing me up, backing him up. So I knew I had to do it. Grandma said it, man. But we'll take a quick break, come back, talk about what we're going to do, Austin. First, a couple minutes, we're talking about the anatomy of what it takes to go and win a game like this, right? And then I'm going to talk about what it's like to get traded and talk about the NFL, how it went for Devontae and Amari. I've been through it myself twice. It's a very interesting process. I love you, Greg Williams. Not so much Tom Donahoe, but you still my boy, though. Anyway, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosden. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and proud to be involved in our community. Property tax relief is important to every family. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history, and I will continue to advocate for property tax relief. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th, paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
If you're not advertising your business on your vehicle, you're missing out on a lot of potential clients, and it's time to change that. Automotive Solutions excels in vinyl wraps and company IDs. They offer BG services with free warranties available, and they service all cars and diesel trucks too. They also service fleets, and if you push snow in the winter, get ahead now with your vehicles. Don't forget, ticket listeners receive a service discount on preventative maintenance. Call Automotive Solutions for an appointment at 531-249-5600 and stop by at 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, We figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, the man with the plan. We're the Old School crew. Again, brought to you by the Mercado. We're live in effect here at 1040 O Street, the Mecca. A little chilly today, Austin.
Is this real football weather for you?
Yeah, the only problem with playing it right now, because here's the deal. When you go from extreme heat, which we've had the last home game with Nebraska, right, to this right here, your nose starts to run. You start hitting people.
I feel that.
Yeah, you get snot bubbles.
I feel that.
So otherwise, it's good.
What was it like in the NFL where you'd go from, Buffalo to Miami, like in December, lake effect snow down to.
Hey, man, we went down there one time. It was so hot because we had not had any warm game. I mean, Buffalo is like 85. That's, and it's weak. It's a week. Yeah, it's weak. We get hot. It gets hot during training camp, but never during like season that much, right? The first couple games, it's hot everywhere.
Yeah.
When we played Miami down there in this, when I tell you it was so hot, and it was a noon game or 1 o'clock game, so it was hot, and they put us in blue uniforms.
Of course they did.
Wade was like, "We cutting it short," in warm ups, man, and it was so hot, man. And guys are getting IVs at coming in at when you go warm up, then you usually go back, and then the whole team goes out. We only went out one time. Guys are getting IVs and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they wore us out a little bit.
Merry Christmas.
But then there's time we played down there at night early in the year. We played on Monday night and we beat them. It was hot, but it is an adjustment. A lot of PD lights were getting handed out.
Was Miami the hottest place you played in the NFL?
Houston was hot. Yeah, Houston was hot, but in a game, Miami for sure.
Buffalo coldest.
Oh no, we played 1 year. We played 1 year up in Chicago.
Ooh.
It was a toilet bowl too. Both teams are crap. I see you out there, man. I see you out there. There he is. Right. Old school listener out there giving us some love, man. Appreciate that. We played up there. It was like -40 because you got like wind chill. That's easily the coldest. I played a game in Buffalo. It was like that. We got lake effect snow at the beginning of it, in between the second. So the game started at about, it was like 40, like 8 degrees, 50 degrees. But it progressively got colder and colder. And so once it got below freezing, there was it's like this little slick kind of ice kind of goes over. It was fine. But by the time we went into halftime and came out, there was already snow on the ground. Like legitimate snow where they're bringing out the snow blowers. And the rest of that game, man. And then I told you about this, when we went to overtime. So we played in New England. And this is kind of, New England wasn't going to playoffs. And here's how funny things are, like as far as careers go. I know we're getting a little bit off topic. Is like when we used to play New England, Adam Vinatieri was a kicker. He probably lost 2 or 3 games against us. We were like, oh, this dude's going to miss one. He's chokes under pressure. Straight up. No, he's a great kicker. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know and it was only like 2 or 3 times. Went to Foxborough up there. We beat him up there. And then we played him again. He missed a big kick. One. And in the one that I'm talking about now, the cold game, you couldn't even like spot the ball because it was so windy. So we're playing him in a toilet bowl, and I'm slew-footed, right? And here's the thing. I was just talking about this with Fred Hoiberg today. Oddly enough, he was asking me about something up in Minnesota, and I say, man, I used to play at. He's asking me about this particular golf course in Eden Prairie. I was like, the only experience there is like me and my buddies. When it was snowing, we'd go out there and play football, and we'd tear the course up. They would get mad at us, right? That's my only experience of it. So I had experience playing in snow because we would just be wearing regular sneakers. So we go and play up there, and Ted Washington, Pat Williams, all them dudes, we play in New England, they just running the ball, and I'm cleaning up left and right, barely on. Only time I'm getting on the ground is I'm tackling somebody. And so Marcellus Wiley and all, they'd always make fun of me being slew-footed. They call me Sweetie Rabbit because remember the thing you had? Yeah, so they would make fun of me. So I told them afterwards, listen, this is traction out here. This is traction out here. Because Pat Williams was like, hey, Foreman, what are you doing? I said, bro, this is slew-footed, man. This is the angle. Natural advantage. But that game was so cold, Austin. So we end up going to overtime. We missed so many kicks. We drive it all the way down there, fumble the snapper. I was like, man, this game's gonna be on football folly, right? Yep. Because you couldn't hold on to the ball. We get into overtime. We drive it down there, miss the easy kick. Then we come back. New England misses a kick. We get it and get a play, go down there. I think we either fumbled or it was like a stupid fumble. The guy was running. We just dropped the ball. So it's towards the end of regulation. New England drove it all the way down to the 1 yard line, called a timeout so they could come out and shovel stuff off and beat us like that.
Dang.
That's the coldest game I've ever been in.
Dang. I'm kind of in a sicko sort of way looking forward to the end of Northwestern's schedule because they're right there on that lake.
Oh, yeah.
No shelter, nothing. November 16th, Ohio State goes there. And then last week of the year, Northwestern Illinois,
yeah.
On that, not even just lakefront, like it's basically in the lake.
Yeah, in the lake.
State.
And that's the way the Bear Stadium was.
Oh,
and if you get that hawk coming off of there,
woo,
then you ain't playing. And woo wee, yeah, it's serious, man. Serious. We'll dip into we got about 4 minutes, actually about 3. What it takes to go on the road, and obviously we'll be able to do stuff. And I think I'm gonna try to stream in, obviously a couple times, and we'll really dive into it, me and Nick, on Friday. But I think it's just a mindset to go up there. And the reason why I'm just gonna say this: look, they're Northwestern or Indiana's number 16. There's not any difference between number 16 and say like number 36 as far as rankings go. Not a big difference, not a glaring. A lot of it's schedule circumstances and obviously get that little bit of a winning streak going. When you look at Indiana, I feel like I think that we match up extremely well with them. I do. Honestly, I've always felt like we match up extremely well with them. We got a ton of, I think we'll have a good game plan. They're coming off a bye week. We're coming off a bye week. But at the end of the day, they're not changing their offense too much. They're not changing their defense too much. We're not going to change ours, I'm assuming, much in that. We just got to get better at what we need to get better at. And whoever does it the best and then goes out and executes is going to generally win the game. Now, sure, will there be some stuff that they'll try to take advantage of? Sure, we're going to do the same. Now you got to go out there and execute. So first of all, it's just a mindset type of thing. Respect your opponent, fear no one. That's number one. And then number two, it's got to be a change. And I talk about this all the time. Sometimes, like around here, when you play teams like Illinois or whatever, like Rutgers, you hear a lot of guys talking, obviously on the radio, and you can kind of like talk yourself into thinking like you're playing like the 80, like the Bears, or like 85 Bears, or you're playing Ohio State, or you're playing like, and it's not disrespecting them. It's not taking anything away from Indiana, but it's also like you gotta flip your mindset and say, listen, we're good too.
They have to play us too.
They got to play us. Mm-hmm. Let's make them play us.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how well they play if we play 25% better or longer than we have good football. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we don't fall asleep sometimes. Let's see if we said, we're not going to just, idle on you. We're going to step on your throat. Let's see how they react. Right? It's never about proving somebody wrong. It's about proving yourself right. I think when that stuff changes, and you really start to think about it different, you start to welcome the challenge versus just sitting there like, all right, let's go do it. Don't sleepwalk into this thing. You got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. The pressure's on them. This is a great situation. When you think about all the pressure is on them. They've moved up 2 spots during a bye week, which is amazing, right? Winning on it's like some people get fired on their day off. They got promoted on their day off, right? So they moved up 2 spots. It's the first time they had anything like this before. This is the first sellout in a very long time. They're 16th ranked. They're thinking to themselves, if we can make some noise and backdoor our way into they're thinking college football playoffs halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. If you don't think that's going through their program, no matter what the head coach says, it is. Those players are hearing it. They're reading it. So all the pressure's on them. That's in the back of their mind. We're just trying to go there to get right. We're going there. We should go there with as much confidence or more, looking at them on tape and then seeing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the shift in the mindset. Then you just got to go advantage and take advantage of what they got to do. And I'm a big believer of this, and I talk about this in basketball. Playing steady is a lost art. Playing steady, especially at the beginning. You know what that does? That takes that motivation up out of your butt. So when you're running around hyping up the crowd, pointing at your family, your girlfriends, and all that, that ain't going on no more because I'm here to play.
Sucks the motivation out. Right. This one in place.
Right. That's the fastest way to get. Let's just play steady. Let's see what you do. Let's see you do it 3 times. Because in that 4th time, I'm gonna take it away from you. Nothing cheap, nothing deep, and then just take advantage of what they get you. Let's play some football. This is a long game. Yeah. Let's see how long you want to play it.
That's fair. I do think there's an aspect of, from Nebraska media, right? That's me. I'm in that boat. Been burned recently, right? By overlooking teams or not even being willing to say that was a horrible, ridiculous loss. It's, what did we miss about this team? What did we not see about this matchup coming in?
Yeah.
When sometimes it's just unexcusable. You just didn't play well enough. You just weren't coached well enough, whatever it is. Yeah. You just lose a game you shouldn't lose. And I think there's some, I don't want to say fear, maybe trepidation to just say, that was a really bad loss. That can't happen to Nebraska. And so instead of saying that was a really bad loss, that shouldn't happen to Nebraska, go fix it. It's, well, what did we miss about this team? Yeah. So we then make them into something bigger than they probably are, put all the focus on the opponent instead of what does Nebraska do well? What does Nebraska have to do?
Right. And I learned this the times that I didn't play well. Again, I always feel like you need to be 100% transparent. There's times that I did not play well. We did not play well defensively at any level. Once you know you showed up with the intention and you played hard, then you kind of get away from where we're not physical or we're not coachable. Is it the game plan and all that? It's never. I'm gonna tell you this. And there's a lot of times I talk about this. There's a legendary play that was happening in the Fiesta Bowl that was a defensive bust. So it's never as good as it seemed, and it's never as bad.
Yeah.
Right. And it's always something in between. Now there's times you play really good, right? Like play really good against Tennessee. We got Peyton Manning up out of that bad boy quick. Overall played really good against Florida. Played really good against Miami. You played really good. You still gave up points. That's the way it goes. You're playing against good competition. So I think just having a realistic view and then obviously just turn the tables of like, look, we're a good team. We're going to continue to prove ourselves right. And the only people that we're going to show is the whole nation is how good we are. And when you have that type of mindset and you start to really, really believe it, like you got to believe. This is a game where you got to believe and you got to really, really, like I say, you got to be in it to win it. These are fun games. These are the games that, you get respect because guys came back, you committed here. This is what this is probably what they were being told on the recruiting or re-recruiting and recruiting, right? You can be a part of this. This is it. We're here. Okay, now we're here. We're not here to participate. We're here to win this bad boy and then go from there. And go see where it's at. Nothing like it, Austin. The big games, I like the big games, man. Because that's where you
Husky Stadium. Here comes Jay Foreman.
Is that what it is? What, or you mean Washington?
Washington.
Oh yeah. You like those, but I like those games. I mean, those are the games look. It's showtime, man. You ain't got to worry about looking. We're gonna be playing all game, so that's what that's the most. We didn't get to do it a lot, so you gotta get cranked up.
I would have said the Orange Bowl, but that's home. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah, for the good team, the Cornhuskers, not the Hurricanes. Anyways, we'll take a quick break. Come back. We'll go through what it's like to get traded. Very short and quick. It's funny, boy. I was just imagining how those two guys got traded. Now, since it happened on a Tuesday, and I got traded in the offseason, it's probably a little bit different. But it's definitely unique. I think Devontae's was a little bit different versus Amari's, right? Probably
have to be.
Yeah, because Devontae, to get from Las Vegas to there, by the time he was on the Pat McAfee show, that he was gone during the season. Yeah. But anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through October 29th is $1 off per pound on New York strips. Spend $50 and get a free brick of ground beef. and 25% off on tea. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all. And full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: frost likely this morning, then sunny, breezy, and much warmer this afternoon. We'll see a high around 64. Tonight, clear skies, and it will be breezy. See a low around 45. And tomorrow, sunshine returns. It'll be windy and warm with a high around 74. Meteorologist Kyle Cook for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're not advertising your business on your vehicle, you're missing out on a lot of potential clients, and it's time to change that. Automotive Solutions excels in vinyl wraps and company IDs. They offer BG services with free warranties available, and they service all cars and diesel trucks too. They also service fleets, and if you push snow in the winter, get ahead now with your vehicles. Don't forget, ticket listeners receive a service discount on preventative maintenance. Call Automotive Solutions for an appointment at 531-249-5600 and stop by at 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Sartor Hamann Jewelers is celebrating 119 years as Lincoln's top choice for fine jewelry. Join us for our anniversary sale, going on now through October 20th. Enjoy an exclusive 20% off on in-stock items, including dazzling diamond jewelry, exquisite rings, and luxury watches. This once-a-year event is our way of saying thank you to the community that has supported us for over a century. Mark your calendars and celebrate this milestone with us by indulging in spectacular savings. Only at Sartor Hamann Jewelers.
Urology Partners of Nebraska is Lincoln's newest full-service urology group. Urology Partners uses state-of-the-art treatment options for both men and women, including some exciting treatments new to our community that help you get back to your confident and active lifestyle. The team at Urology Partners is dedicated to quickly and effectively restoring your health, with new patients typically seen in clinic within 48 hours. Whether you have questions about your prostate, incontinence issues, kidney stones, or erectile dysfunction, their team has you covered. Call Urology Partners today to schedule an appointment.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, quick segment. What it's like to be traded. It happens way too often right now, but mine was a very unique situation. I was in the off season and went out, and my agent was like, "You got to show up. You don't want to have a bad rap or whatever." And I was willing to compete. I just felt like back then the contract wasn't going to allow to do that. And I respect your decision. I was mad or whatever, sure, but so I went out there, did what I had to do. It was like everybody's walking. Look, I went and worked out, did my normal routine. Everybody's looking at you like, "Damn, dude, you still here?" Right? So I'm sure everybody knew my ass was out of there.
I'm still here.
Yeah, but I think they knew my ass was out of there before, right? And so it must have took a little while for the trade to work or whatever, to find out what they were getting in Buffalo, whatever. So we had minicamp. I get all taped up, go out there, sitting there and stretching the stretch line. And, and I had a pretty good relationship with Greg, especially towards, I would say I started to kind of, be a better, kind of perform better. Felt more comfortable. And he's like, hey, man, let me holler at you. So I'm like, cool. He's just talking to me. I just left my helmet, saying? Like, you go talk to me and shit, Or, dang, sorry about that. There you go. You reminded you Bach that one day. Well, anyways, he's got his arm around me. We're just talking though. And it was smooth how he did it. So we're just vibing, talking, because we're talking, stopping, talking. And it must have been time out. Here comes Tom Donahoe. You and Greg been talking? Yeah. Greg, if you told him? No, we were just catching up. Oh, he's like, you
told me what?
Yeah, what? So then I got defensive, right? Because I ain't want to. Oh yeah, we trade you to Houston. It'd be a great opportunity for you. Now, he didn't say it those ways, and then I commenced to tell him F you and all this was not very. That's probably my low light of my career. It was very poorly handled. Learned from it, but so I think Devontae knew Friday. That's why he didn't play. So he was on a plane. In my opinion, sometime Saturday or Sunday. I think he's flying private. So Amari, I think found out Sunday night, Monday morning, first thing Monday morning, because he played or was inactive, right?
Yeah.
Or he didn't get it. I think he knew, his agent knew by his lack of usage for quite some time, considering this type of player that he is.
How much of that was lack of usage, and how much of that was
Deshaun?
Yeah, the quarterback situation.
It was, and I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm not a big. Deshaun Watson 30 for 30 of the rise or the it's not even the rise. I mean, that dude, you gotta think when he was in Houston, he was better than Patrick Mahomes because he didn't have any weapons and he was outperforming Patrick Mahomes. Matter of fact, I think might have beat him one time down in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
The fall, based on off-season activities, or it wasn't it was all whatever, and the no ability to recover from it. I will tell you, I'll give him credit for this. Houston when he took off, they made a conscious effort to go and consult with the two Clemson. It was Chad Morris and Tony Elliott on how they got the best out of him. So they ran the Clemson offense, but with an NFL flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, on the other hand, doesn't adjust their offense to the $250 million contract that they gave, quarterback they got guaranteed. That's why you see him struggling. He's not a drop back, play action, Kirk Cousins type of quarterback.
No.
He's never been that. You should never ask him to do that. So it's not just all on Deshaun, and I'm not an apologist for him.
No, far from.
I think he could play better. I think he didn't change. I think the whole shoulder thing and stuff and then he was out throwing with somebody with his trainer, but he couldn't play.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
A couple years, right.
Really?
It was just weird. And then now you got him there, and he just looks like a shell of himself. And considering whatever happened, it's hard for him to. I think he has some value there, but he has to get back to a Cam Newton type of system or something like that.
So is that on?
That's on
Stefanski ownership, but also Stefanski. Was that because he's stubborn? He doesn't want to change his system because he's made quarterbacks, or is that he didn't sign off on the Deshaun Watson thing? He's being told he has to play him, so he's going to spite Deshaun Watson.
Well, he had to be aware of them trading for him. But remember, they were quarterback desperate.
They were.
You never do business. You never do things out of desperation.
No.
And I think that was more of an ownership thing because the negotiation was weird.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Stefanski, as a coordinator, you have to know this.
Right.
You see this dude.
Yeah.
You didn't talk. Look, you got him. You ain't going nowhere, neither is him. And we'll say this right quick before we turn over. The conversation is, okay, how can we make this work?
Mm-hmm.
Not this.
You have to make this work.
Right. And that's where they're at. And that's why he's playing like garbage. So anyways, great segment as always. Or great show as always. Appreciate Austin leaving me in. I will be en route tomorrow to Indianapolis.
Safe travels.
Yeah, appreciate that. Me and Nick are going to be doing
Bring
some.
him back, please.
I will try to strangle Nick. We're going to be doing some special stuff from / Inside the Huddle, kind of like pregame, postgame stuff. We got Rhett Lewis lined up. We're going to be live at a place. We'll let everybody know again. Bring the Husker fans over there, and I'll try to stream in too, depending on what time I get there.
We'll be here for you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Turn it over. I think it's Chancellor's coming up next. But this is Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Old School Crew. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, I'm State Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised right here in Lancaster County. I understand the value of hard work by being involved in our family business. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. Nebraska families and business owners need lower taxes, more affordable health care, and a great education system. That is why I fought for the largest tax cut in Nebraska history, reduce the cost of health care, and help pass the biggest investment in our public schools. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th, paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more, plus porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
If you're not advertising your business on your vehicle, you're missing out on a lot of potential clients, and it's time to change that. Automotive Solutions excels in vinyl wraps and company IDs. They offer BG services with free warranties available, and they service all cars and diesel